Well, according to my calculations, we should be live. Oh, hold on a second. Let me Mr. Producer this real quick. According to my Yeah, here we go. All right, now we're live. What's going on, boys? If only the people got to see the behind the scenes. You're gonna have to get a special membership for that.
Either one. It's either one. I'd pay not to see it.
Oh, hold on. No, we're fine. Anyways, forget it.
Are we
Whatever.
live?
We're live. We're live. We had 3-4 people in the hopper waiting on us. I mean, I love it. They were showing up on time, punctual. But like I was saying to Bauer, I'm gonna have to hire somebody for Mr. Producer, right? Our analysis is so in depth, and our minds are just firing at such high RPMs that it's difficult to be able to handle 3 or 4 different things at the same time while we're going ahead and analyzing these charts. So, anyways, I'm going to start with this, okay? So anybody who watched last week's episode, which is a lot of people who've reached out to me on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, people inside the community, people are obviously enjoying the content. They're getting value out of what we're doing. So for those of you that saw last week's episode, you know that effectively every single thing that we talked about with the boys club and how the charts were playing out and the consolidation ranges they were building at their last pumps, everything had played out exactly how we had said it would, right? So from Monday last week through now, Andy made a new all-time high. Wolf made a new all-time high. Pepe made a new all-time high. Brett had made a new all-time high last week, but now it's just consolidating again within that range after its previous all-time high. So quite literally everything we talked about just happened. So if you did what we were talking about last Monday, every single one of you guys are in the profit. Congratulations. You made it to crypto. You're in the profit because you followed the guys and what we were talking about in the last week's episode. And so I'm going to go, and we're going to go over the charts today, and we're going to show you exactly how everything played out from 1 week ago like we said it would, where we're at now, and then obviously talk about new entries and things that you can do in the markets now. Yeah, Ollie said fire. Ollie's getting... See, Ollie's in the chat. Guys, why Ollie's excited? I was meeting with him yesterday on Zoom. We were going over his portfolio. Ollie's in the UK. I'm not going to give away too much of his information. But Ollie...
His date of birth.
Yeah, his date of birth, his gender. So Ollie had been with me since December of 2023 is when he first reached out to me. And we first started working together. Ollie's Brett bags, all of his crypto bags are minimum up 5 to 10x. 5 to 10x. Because he was buying Brett. Well, he wasn't buying Brett. I was paying him in Brett, basically, in crypto. And all of his bags are 5 to 10x right now. Okay, so the dude's fired up, but because he's been accumulating since last Q2, Q3, this year, but about to be last year. So, yeah, I mean, it just comes down to the entry point. So that's why he's fired up. But anyways, Logan, what's going on? Player, good to see you.
What's up, brother? Good to see you. Yeah, I mean, it's nice to get paid and appreciating paychecks. Yeah. So, the one thing I wanted to go over real quick while you're getting everything pulled up was, I don't know if it happened before last Monday. I don't really remember exactly when it happened, but I wanted to talk real quick about that super spike down that happened on Bitcoin. I don't think we ever addressed it.
No.
And I just wanted to bring something up just in regards to the market makers that are behind a lot of these charts and have a lot of play in what these charts do. They have a lot of play in the price action and everything. We've talked about it a bunch of times. These markets are heavily manipulated by people that have a lot more money than us and a lot more money than you. Mm-hmm. So obviously we're trying to play the game. We're trying to play the cycles. We're trying to play the charts. We're being investors. We're not being traders because that's how you get burnt in a market that's as volatile as crypto is right now. But if you guys saw I believe it was last week, it was around I don't know what day that was.
You talking about the wick down that we had?
Yeah.
Yeah, right here. This one right here.
Okay. So yeah, that was December 5th?
Yeah, it was. I believe it was on Thursday. Let's see. Thursday. Yep, exactly.
Yep. December 5th. Okay, so that was this since last Monday. Mm-hmm. So if you guys saw, Bitcoin was up to, I believe, around 104,000. And in the matter of about 45 minutes, maybe even less, it wicked all the way down to almost sub 90,000. So something that's really important to know is a lot of people, and we've started to dabble in it a little bit. We've talked about it. Priamo's been posting his plays in the Taylor's code, the leverage plays that he's been really doing well on. And whenever there's a lot of people who have plays on leverage, you got to think kind of like I look at it as like people betting against the house in the casino. So imagine if you were doing a double down strategy, which Priyama and I were dabbling a bit in the casino over the weekend. Um, but we were doing a double down strategy playing roulette. And imagine that you're betting against the casino and you're going to do a double down strategy, but they can just continue to put more and more and more money up because they have, millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars to play with. So these people that are in long positions that are expecting to make a bunch of money from these exchanges and off the market are obviously betting heavily sometimes on the price to just go up only. And if these big exchanges know that and they have tons and tons of money to play with, they can fluctuate this price however they want to, and they can manipulate the market so heavily to liquidate those people and flush them out of their positions to make sure that those people never end up making money on their plays.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just really important to remember how manipulated the market is. If you guys are getting into leverage plays, if you've been following what Priyama's been putting in the Taylor's code, just make sure you are being careful. Make sure you remember that it is gambling. At the end of the day, it's calculated. Obviously, we're doing it for a reason.
Right.
But shit like this can happen. And if it can happen in Bitcoin, I promise you that it can happen in smaller cap meme coins because the price is a lot easier to manipulate.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just remember this stuff happens for a reason. It's not just completely random. And that's why we're investing. We're not trading.
Exactly. And so that's what it's so when you guys are trading futures, and I'm not recommending that you do, definitely not, especially if this is how, because listen, it gets so degenerate. You guys who are degenerate gamblers and degenerate sports bettors and all these things, you're going to be the guys who are going to be sliding that leverage button up to 50x trying to get, a 10,000% return on $1,000. If that's going to be your mindset and that's going to be your approach to the markets and that's the majority of what you're doing, then yeah, you're going to lose all your money. Okay, this is not what we would recommend to do. But it's important to understand why these wicks happen, like Logan was talking about. So basically, whenever you're trading futures, you're trading paper currency. Okay, so you're not trading the actual physical asset. When you guys are in spot Bitcoin, spot Ethereum, the actual asset itself, whenever you buy it and you own it, it's not physical. You can hold it in your hand, but that's the real asset that you're trading. You have the asset. When you're trading futures or perps with leverage, you're trading paper. So you're not actually buying the asset to then sell it at a higher price. What you're doing is you're just placing a bet, like Logan was talking about. It literally is gambling. You're just betting if the asset's going to appreciate or the asset's going to depreciate, depending if you're long or short on that perp. So what the market makers have to do, and this is the sign of a healthy market, is they're going to go ahead and fuck somebody over. Somebody's going to get fucked, okay? Because somebody has to make money. In order for somebody to make money, somebody has to lose money. So what guys think they're going to do is, okay, I'm going to be smart. I came to the markets late, right? I'm showing up, December. I only got $5,000. I'm trying to retire this bull run. How can I make $5,000 to $1 million? Okay, perps. I'm going to put a fucking 50x, 75x trade on Bitcoin, and I'm going to ride this thing to Valhalla. So when it goes to 200K, I'm up, $1 million, whatever. This is how people think. So the market makers understand that, sure. So what happens is people will show up late to the party on these perps, and within the span of one day, look at this. So I lined the two lines out. In the span of literally one day, Bitcoin breaks 100,000. Bitcoin looks like it's pumping to 104K. We think it's going to go to the next level of 115, 120, 120,000. So these guys who open up these longs late, or even opened up longs over here, 99K, or opened it up on this uptrend, 98K, 94K, anybody between 94 to 100,000 that opened up a long, before they send Bitcoin on its next leg higher, these exchanges, these markets are going to blow these fucking perps out. They're going to blow these people out on their longs, take all their money, and then send the market up higher afterwards. Because otherwise, if they just keep sending the market up in an uptrend straight up all the time, then everybody's just going to place longs and just rinse these exchanges for these longs. So what they did is in the span of a day, they went from 104K almost, and they wicked it all the way down to 91K. That's a $13,000, $14,000 move. That's not a little. That's a fucking massive move in the span of 12 hours, 24 hours. And then if you were actually watching like me and Logan, where I had the chart up when this shit was happening. I saw it wick down. That wick down to 91K got eaten up within 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Not even. And no joke. It went from 100 grand plus down to 91K and then was already back up to where it closed at 97K within minutes. That's how quick it happens. And the reason it happens that quick is the sole purpose of that move is to blow out leverage traders. So that's why you got to be careful whenever you guys are playing leverage, because that's just what they're going to do to you. They're going to manipulate. It's paper that you're trading. So they're just going to fucking blast you out and fucking, if you're not positioning well on these longs and on these shorts.
Yep. Yeah. And I mean, just so you guys understand how much of an impact that can make. It said, I think that wick down flushed out $440 million of liquidity on Bitcoin.
Yep.
So that's $440 million of leverage bets that the market makers were able to flush out with that wick down. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that is substantial when you're looking at their profits and what they're trying to accomplish with moves like this. So that's why, we keep preaching to you guys in an uptrend in a bull market like this, buying the dips is so important, because that's exactly what those guys did there. Mm-hmm. And that's why on these red days, like, just last night after Brett's been bleeding for a little bit, it's down from previous all-time highs. I think we're about 23.5 cents. It's back down to about 19 cents right now. I shoved some more money into Brett yesterday because this pullback, like, they're trying to make you think it's over. They're trying to get people out of leverage trades. They're trying to get people to think it's over. Once they start bringing that price down a little bit and it starts rolling over, people hop on the train. They start jeeting out. Mm-hmm. Then those big guys come back in, they sweep the lows, and they send it up to the next leg. And we've been seeing it time and time again, this whole cycle since we started breaking out of the range that started to occur back in like April, May time. Mm-hmm. We've been seeing it time and time again. The boys club members, they pump up, they'll range. The market makers are just sweeping the lows. They're growing the size of their bags. Once they have everyone flushed out that's going to jeet, they'll send it higher. And then we've just been riding it the whole entire time, reaccumulating on the lows, and making money the whole way up. Mm-hmm. So you guys got to be aware of what's really going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, everything's manipulated. This isn't just an accident how these markets move. But the point is that wick down is healthy. You want that wick down, because what that's saying to you is, okay, if they were so concerned about blasting out all these long traders, what do you think the price is going to go? So they want to take out everyone that has a long on the market. Well, it means they're probably going to send it higher. So that's why they're trying to knock them out first. So that's a bullish sign. That's good. Okay, so let's talk about what everybody came here for, just to give them an update. So the boys club, right? So we were talking about last Monday, we built these ranges on the boys club, and we're saying how, okay, look, we just had these legs higher, all right? The boys club, right? Just imagine that all you saw was this whenever we were looking at the charts last week. And we're saying, okay, Pepe gets listed on Coinbase, has a massive run up, does a 2x. Okay, great. Hits its all-time high, then we come back down and we start consolidating in this range. So what does this range do to people? We were talking about this last week. This range is supposed to get people bored, because everybody who bought the top on Pepe right after it got listed on Coinbase, which we know some people who are like this, they buy the top on Pepe, or they buy close to the top on Pepe, then they get these couple of weeks of ranging, this consolidation, to make weak hands capitulate, sell, go buy something else that's pumping, make people chase, scare people out of their positions, try to get people to take profits early. That's what this is done to, that's what this is for. So they start to consolidate. Okay, other people they want to try to accumulate here. Great. So what happened during this range is, like we said, this is going to break out, and when it breaks out, it's going to go to the upside. Well, what happened? Okay, so on Saturday, right? So we showed this on Monday. So on Monday, all you could see was up until right here. It was right there. So then when we come out through the rest of the week, it did exactly what we said it would, right? The exact thing.
Generational entry.
Generational entry. This mid-range, I'm going to tell you guys, I actually opened up my long right here. So this is where I opened up my long on Pepe. It was right here on this wick down, okay? Because it came down past the mid range, and we were talking to you. We were saying this is going to break to the upside. So it came down past the mid range. I bought and opened up my long right here. This long that I opened up here on Pepe is never going to get touched again. Okay. So I now have a free long on Pepe on 50x leverage or 75x leverage now, where I basically have zero money. I have pretty much minimal money put up, but I'm still printing 75x on it. I'll explain how that works later. But I opened up the long here. Great. So we break out of the range on Saturday. Boom, you get the one definitive breakout, and then look what happened. Pepe's just fucking pumping now. So Pepe made an all-time high here, range for 2 days, made another all-time high today. Okay, so it played out exactly how you said it was going to play out. So there you go. Boom. You got your generational entry on the Pepe long, like we put inside the Taylor's code. If you're inside the Taylor's code, you would have had that. If you're not, well, you missed it, of course. So you got to be a part of the organization to get stuff like that. Now, with Pepe, this is one thing I'm going to mention before we go into the next chart. Pepe, on a day where Ethereum is down 4%, Bitcoin is down 3.3%. Pepe just made a new all-time high today. So you guys have to understand how important that is. Pepe is supposed to be beta to Ethereum. Ethereum is down 4% of the day, and Pepe just made a new all-time high today. What does that mean? This is the difference between Pepe and all other meme coins this cycle. This is why Pepe is the king this cycle. The bid on Pepe is so strong that even when it's L1, its alpha that it's supposed to be trading against and outperforming, is down 4% on the day, and Pepe's making new all-time highs. That means that not only is smart money invested into Pepe, which is important. So smart money is buying Pepe. Crypto natives, people who are native to crypto that, let's say, don't have $100 million, but they got a couple $100,000, a couple $1,000, they're all buying Pepe. And retail is all buying Pepe. Retail is buying up on Robinhood, Coinbase, all these exchanges. They're buying the shit out of Pepe, regardless of what's happening to the L1. So that means that the speculative bid on Pepe is so strong. People are in so much belief that it's going to pump much higher than where it's at right now, that regardless of what Bitcoin and Ethereum are doing, they're buying the shit regardless. If you watch these markets on a day-to-day basis and have for this past year, 2 years, 3 years, this cycle, last cycle, you understand how important that is and how different that is compared to how other assets are moving. So that's my point on that.
Yeah. I mean, I think that people were saying a few weeks ago too that Dogecoin was going to be kind of the leader of the meme coin the whole meme coin realm for this cycle. And I mean, you look at Dogecoin, I think Dogecoin's down. I was looking at it earlier this morning. It's down like 6-7%. Oh yeah.
Right here. Yeah.
It's down 6.5% today. And Pepe's still cruising. So Pepe's on a mission of its own. It's definitely maturing as an asset because it's showing that even if its L1 is down on the day, significant amount. I think ETH is down, $150 today. It doesn't matter. It's just going to continue to cruise. So I know we looked at it last week. We looked at the chart that had all 4 of the Boys Club members listed on it, and it was showing how all of them are in such a similar structure right now. They were all building the bull flag that was clear as day to see. So what you guys need to be looking for, and like this weekend, if you pull up the Andy chart.
Yep. Look what we drew last time too. It played out fucking perfectly.
Outperformed the estimation.
Yeah. It was actually more bullish than what I had anticipated. Look, I drew this on the Monday stream last week when we said, look, Andy's in this consolidation range. Andy's going to break out to the upside. And I drew this arrow, boom, 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 to the upside. Well, holy shit. Look what happened. I only put on the 4 hour. Look what happened. It did exactly that. It went boom, 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 up to the upside. I mean, what else do you want me to show you? I don't understand what.
Fortune teller.
No Priestradamus. So
yeah.
But yeah, go
so
ahead.
I mean, this pattern just continues to happen. So I thought this weekend it was a no-brainer because if you look at this range, I mean, as soon as Andy got up to the previous range high, it was instantaneous. As soon as it broke through the previous range high, it just snapped. Yep. And it went up, 10 to 15% in the matter of 4 hours, 5 hours. So this just continues to happen. I mean, it's been happening the past couple months. And I think the big thing for people to know and why you should have so much confidence buying the red days right now is the difference between a bull market and a bear market, especially for meme coins that historically experience a lot of volatility and have continued to done so or have continued to do so, is in a bear market like we were seeing at the beginning of 2023 before the big pump and then obviously through 2022, is whenever these coins would start to retrace, they wouldn't start to retrace a little bit and then range for a couple weeks ready to pump again. They would retrace and revert into a downtrend. And if you bought that first or second red day, you could end up getting another 30%, 40% pullback on your money before you saw any upside.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously that's not a very fun investing experience because, you know, you really do start to think it's over. I mean, if it goes into a downtrend, it's kind of down only pretty much for 2-3 weeks. You start to shit yourself
Yep.
a little bit. But what we've seen the past few months is these coins do not do that. You know, they might pull back 10 to 15%, and then they're just ranging for a couple weeks in their new range, just getting ready to pump again. And it just continues to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that we've seen moves like we saw over the weekend on every member of the boys club. I mean, Landwolf went into price discovery this weekend. Pepe went into price discovery. Brett was pretty fucking close. And then Andy, again, price discovery this weekend. So all these coins continue to play the same pattern. Pump up 20, 30%, range a little bit. They're just waiting for Ethereum to finally make its big breakout move, finally break above 4,000 significantly up to like 46, 47, 4,800. And this is just going to continue to happen until it's too late. You miss the range. And then it's just going to, once ETH goes into price discovery, this shit's going to send. Mm-hmm. And it's going to start pulling 50% moves in a day. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. Like, you guys cannot wait until that happens. Like, you can try and sit around and wait for the perfect entry, wait for it to break below the mid range and try and, you know, wait for that price point that you have in mind that you're going to jump in at, but you might never get it. And then you might wake up one day after Asia bids all night and you missed out on a 40%, 50% move. So it's just like, that's why I shoved last night on Brett. It's like, yeah, if I would have waited till today, I could have looked at the range a little bit more. I could have waited for the perfect entry. But in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter because these coins are pulling these moves with ETH down 4% on the day and just ranging at 4,000. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not doing shit.
Yep.
So yeah, as soon as Ethereum, which historically we've seen end of December, January, February, that is true ETH season. Buy the shit now. Don't wait for the perfect entry. Exactly. Not financial advice, but
yeah, exactly. Never financial advice. But this, look at the same thing on Wolf. Again, what are we, fucking fortune tellers, or are we just looking at the data? So we looked at this on Monday, right? So we looked at this on Monday, December 2nd. Wolf was in the range right here, right? And then I drew this arrow, right? So Monday was right here. So when we drew this, okay. So you see where my line started, right? Where we were at on Monday. And I drew the boom, 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 boom to the upside. Look what happened to Wolf.
You guys can check the receipts. Go back and look at the stream. This shit was not drawn since then. It was last week.
It's on YouTube. Yeah, go watch last week's episode. So look, this is what we said would happen, and then it fucking happened. So it's if you know what you're looking at and you know what you're looking for, obviously you're going to have an edge on the market. You just can't be coming in here and aping randomly and not looking at the data and understanding what's going on. This is why you need to be a part of a network, a part of an organization of guys who are going to invest their lives and their time and energy into understanding these things and out competing every single other person in the market. Those are the people that you need to be around. So then you have the same information, the same alpha, the same entry points as guys like myself and Logan. This is why we're making so much money, because we understand what the fuck's going on. We're not just looking at a 10% green on the day. Oh, that looks good. Let me buy that. Okay, you just bought the top, goofy. So, people buy that don't understand what's going on. They're going to buy this right here when it's green, when it's pumping hard. They're going to buy that, and it's going to retrace a little bit and build this range, and that's when they're going to be upset and sell their bags for a loss or feel like it's over or not know to DCA, etc. Myself and Logan, first of all, we've been holding since down here, right, during the accumulation range. But if we're going to load up more, which we haven't, I mean, we're adding to our positions on all pullbacks. It's a bull market. Bull markets, you buy dips. We're buying or opening longs at the bottom of the range, right? You buy it at the bottom of the range. Okay, that's where you fill up your positions. This is where you accumulate your bags now. So if you guys were looking at this over the past week since the live stream, you're looking at this. Okay, we're below the mid range. Okay, we're at the bottom of the range. Let me buy here. Let me buy here. Let me buy on these wicks. Great. Now you get this move into price discovery on Land Wolf where we're ripping face. You're all in profit. But if you're not watching the streams, if you're not inside the Taylor's code, then you wake up, you open up your wallet or you open up, whatever the hell, you're using to look at price action. You miss this whole consolidation range, and then you see Land Wolf's up 20% yesterday, 30% yesterday. Oh, you're thinking, oh, yeah, shit, let me buy Land Wolf. Bang, you buy the Pico top, and then you're even money again. It's just what happens every time.
Yeah. And for the record, Land Wolf's up 100% in the past 4 days, or
Boom.
200% in the past 4 days. So, yeah. And I mean, you guys see it, like if you, the zoom you just had there, a little bit more zoomed in, like you guys see that range, as soon as it broke above the previous range high, which was previous all-time high, I believe.
Yes.
You guys see it. It's instantaneous. Like it's no delay. And this is why we keep preaching it's so important to zoom out on the mark or zoom out on the charts a little bit. Look at the monthly chart. Look at the 3-month chart. Don't be looking just at the 24-hour chart every single day, because if you guys do that, you're going to be guessing. Yeah. Like you're not basing it off of anything. And I just mean, like, what is this?
This is
this the weekly?
Yeah. I mean, bullish. I mean, how fucking bullish is that?
Yeah. And when I say monthly or 3-month chart, I mean, like, just for anyone that's watching, you want to have on your screen at least a month or 3 months of price action. Gotcha. So you can do 12-hour candles, 1-day candles, doesn't matter, but you want to have at least 1 to 3 months of data that you're looking at, so you can see these ranges building, so you can see where it's at, compared to what it's been doing, and you can actually make sure you're getting in at the right place. And I think the other thing that's important to mention too is we always preach about DCAing. During the dips, you want to be buying more. But say you guys did the right thing and you were following the move since earlier in the year, and you were buying that accumulation range down when Land Wolf was at like 20 million market cap. Yeah, I mean, you'd be up 1,300% on that initial investment.
13x.
Really important. Even if you guys got in at the bottom, don't be afraid to buy more during these ranges and during these red days. Even if you're spending more than what you originally got in for, it's going to benefit you so much, because yeah, you might not do 13x on your money like you would have if you got in back then and you're still holding it, but you're going to do multiples on it. Like, what better is there to, what are you going to do with that extra money? You're just going to have it sit on the sidelines and spectate, get it in. Don't be afraid to add more into the market. Even if it's a worse entry than you got originally, you're still going to do multiples from here for sure with this stage in the cycle.
Yes. Yeah, that's the thing. Correct. It's not, the meat of the move has not been done yet. This is the thing. It looks like we're up 13x off the floor. Sure, that's great. Though this is not, we haven't even seen the meat of the move yet. It's not even alt season yet. You guys we're not in alt season until ETH BTC is ripping upward, until crypto total market cap is ripping upward, until others dominance is ripping upward. We're still not even in ETH season, right? So these are quite literally the entries that you need to be getting right now if you haven't been accumulating during the drops in the middle of the year, while we're in that 8-month consolidation range, accumulation range on Bitcoin. So, we're up 13x off the lows on Land Wolf. We'll just take a look at Andy just so you guys can cope a little bit. So, if you were accumulating from the lows on Andy, the summertime lows, you're it's going to be a 6x on Andy off the lows. Brett, by the way, Brett is still in its accumulation range. So, if you guys are looking for an entry on Brett, if you guys have learned anything, wow, look at that. We drew this range back on Monday. When was it? What was it? It's Monday, no, today's the 9th.
Monday the 2nd?
Yeah, so all the way back here. Wow, look at that. So we drew this range back on Monday the 2nd, back here. Okay. On or no, I think we had the range on Brett over here. I'll have to go back and look. Anyways, I have this range on here, so I drew this at some point. But in the past week. So this range I drew, yeah, it had to have been back here because it came up here and tapped this part, and I didn't have it drawn. Okay. So Brett's in this range. We hit the top of the range. We come back down. We have some interaction with the mid range, and then it comes all the way back down here. Wow, isn't that funny? It just so happened that as Brett was tanking this morning, boom, it reacted right off of the range low. That's weird. So these ranges do play out, huh? So if you're paying attention and you're investing intelligently, you see Brett come down here and interact with the low of the range. This is your good entry right here. So below this mid range, right? Below this marker right here, that's where you want to be accumulating Brett before its next leg up. And that's what Logan did yesterday. Logan just aped more into Brett over here. Yeah, maybe it was a little bit lower this morning. It's the same shit. It's still below the mid range. So this is where you want to be accumulating Brett before it does this. And watch. I bet you this plays out nicely. Where's the little path? Here, you guys are going to love these. Right? Before it does what? Boom.
Back on this one next week.
Yep. Yeah. Come back next week. You'll see this shit play out perfectly. Boom, boom, boom. So this is where you want to be accumulating Brett. So out of the boys club right now, which one should you be aping if you had to choose one? Right now, I'm going to accumulate more Brett because Brett right now is at the bottom of its accumulation range. That's where I would be picking up some Brett. Okay. Unless we get a further pullback on ETH and Bitcoin, then this thing will drop down further and then you just buy again. So, but that's TBD. We're going to see if we get that further pullback on Bitcoin and Ethereum this week. If we don't, then it should be pretty much up only for the rest of the month. If we do get the pullback, it'll probably be throughout this week, and then the following week it should be up only to the end of the month.
Yep. Yeah, and I think I had this feeling coming into whenever things finally started moving at the beginning of the bull run after the 8 or 9 month range, I started to get in my head a little bit, and you start to think, can I really make this much money off of crypto? Can these price targets that we've been talking about really happen? Is there really that much money that's going to come into the ecosystem to be able to make this shit a reality? Mm-hmm. And I think it's so important for you guys to remember, so many people, obviously there's a ton of people that lose money on crypto because 95% are just complete gambling. They have no idea what's going on and they don't care to know. Like they just want to throw some money in, hope for the best, and it is what it is. And I mean, it's good for you if you're putting in the effort and you actually want to learn and you realize that there's some method to the madness. It's not just completely random, not even a little bit. So you guys, it's just important to remember that, yeah, these coins are still absolutely going to do multiples from these levels. Like something, I know we were looking at the Dogecoin chart, it was off stream, but we were looking at it whenever it first launched.
Yeah.
And then we were looking at it back in, May of 2021, whenever it went absolutely parabolic. Mm-hmm. And you guys got to know that before Dogecoin pumped to like $90 billion market cap, 3 weeks before it pumped, it was at 500 million.
Yeah.
So Dogecoin was at the same, just a little bit above the market cap of Andy. And it went from Andy level coin to 90 billion in 3 weeks. So for you guys that start to get in your head, maybe you were buying in that accumulation range over the summer and you're already up 13, 14x on, say, Landwolf, and you're thinking, holy shit, like I'm already up 1,400%. Can this shit really go higher? Yes. Yes, it can. And it's going to. So yeah, don't get in your head. Like if you guys have already been performing really well this cycle, congratulations. You outperformed the majority of investors, which is fantastic. And you've, been rewarded for continuing to hold through the ups and downs and not cheating your bag and not capitulating at the wrong times. But there's still so much room for this market cap to go. We were talking about it the other day. I don't know if it's still the same. I'm sure it's gone up a little bit, but if you take out Doge and SHIB from the whole meme coin sector. I
Yes.
think the market cap just a few weeks ago was like 40 billion total. Total. So it's like Dogecoin and SHIB aside, the whole every single other meme coin in the entire market space is less than it's about half of Dogecoin's market cap. It's
Yeah.
like you guys don't think that the meme coin sector, which has more traction than I think any sector, maybe aside from Bitcoin on all socials, more people, all the retail, they want to get involved in it because they see the price is lower. They think they're getting more, which relative to Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's a lower market cap. So technically it's a better buy if they're looking to get multiples. But yeah, it's like you guys don't think that the entire meme coin sector outside of Dogecoin and SHIB can do a 10x from where it's at right now, can go to 5 times the market cap of Dogecoin alone. It's a no-brainer. It's so undervalued right now, and there's so much hype around it. This bull run, it's going to happen. It's inevitable,
That's
in
such
my
a great
opinion.
that's such a great point. Yes, the meme coin sector is beyond undervalued. And this is why we're in the memes now, because you need to buy the assets when they're undervalued for you to be able to earn the biggest amount of multiples on it. So what we're doing is we're front running what's going to happen, which has happened this past month, in November and December, will happen continuing into next year. Is we're front running the rotation into meme coins because the sector is so ridiculously undervalued. Like Logan said, sub 40 billion outside of SHIB in Doge when you remove those two from previous cycles. XRP is over $100 billion market cap by itself, and it added tens of billions of dollars of market cap in the matter of days whenever it pumped. So if one asset, one token like XRP can put on $100 billion in market cap, you're telling me the entire meme coin sector is only worth 40 billion, less than half of what XRP is right now? Of course not. So what we're doing is we're front running the rotation. It's not that meme coins aren't doing that well, which they actually are. They're doing fantastic if you're in the correct ones. The problem is people buy random shit and they'll lose all their money. But if you're buying strong beta like Pepe, Brett, Andy, Wolf, and there's other coins that we're invested in, just so you guys know, but you got to be inside of the Taylor's code in our group to be actually accumulating those bags at those lows and what's going to pump going into Q1. But we're just giving you the boys club because these are the bigger assets, the narrative that we're playing. Those are a majority of our monies in these bags. But the point I was making is, yeah, it's so undervalued. So something like Pepe, it's at $11 billion market cap right now. Doge peaked at 90 billion in 2021. So I'm not here to give you guys moon boy targets, but you're telling me Pepe can't go to at least 50 billion, a 5x from here. So even if you put in whatever much money you have comfortably, soft toss up to 5x, I think it's going to go higher, but I can confidently tell you it's going to at least do a 5x, at least. You can't go to 50 billion 4 years after Doge went to 90 billion. You're telling me Brett at $2 billion market cap right now, 2 billion, can't go to 10, can't go to $1, right? 8 or what is that, 5x from here. And then Andy and Wolf is no brainer. Andy's almost 300 mil. Wolf's at what? Andy, we can check right now.
I think Andy's at like
320.
Yeah. Yeah. So Andy's at 320 million. I think Landwolf's at like 200 ish.
200. Yeah. So
the supplies, a little bit less, but yeah.
So yeah, you're telling me Andy, I mean, I know they're going to go to billions, but that's another 10x on Andy if it goes to 3 billion. If Wolf goes to 2 billion, that's a 10x on Wolf still. So that's why Andy and Wolf are going to be bigger for those of you with not a lot of liquidity, not a lot of money to ape into something. You guys are going to want to buy Wolf and Andy because those are going to get you more multiples on your money. So yeah, it's just, you don't understand it. Well, here's the thing with Wolf and Andy though. The reason that you're going to get so many more multiples on them and you got to be early to the show to catch those is because those aren't on centralized exchanges yet either. So you got to do a little bit more work to be able to get on chain to buy Andy and Wolf. So that's why the people who are native to crypto, the people like us who know how to do that, can get in on these bags so early, because if you're somebody who's waiting for them to hit Coinbase and Robinhood, you've missed, not that you're not going to get gains, you're going to get gains, but you lost the 100x. If you're buying these things on chain, you could get 100x on these things. But by the time they hit Coinbase and Robinhood, you're going to be limited to your upside, right? Which is actually interesting because Doge with the move. I mean, not everything's going to do a Doge move, but I mean, you're still going to get your multiples by the time they hit C1 exchanges. But yeah, you want to hit these things whenever they're on chain. So you got to get on chain to be able to buy Andy and Wolf, so that whenever they do get listed on Coinbase and Robinhood, I believe they'll at least get listed on Coinbase. I believe that can happen, or Binance. When that happens, bro, they're going to be billions, worth billions.
Yeah. I mean, I think I don't know if we talked about it last stream, but it's important to know too that how pro crypto the new SEC president's going to be and how pro crypto Trump is and his whole organization. I mean, they're all very pro crypto. It's been, stated plain as day.
Yep.
And it's obviously shown in the performance of the market so far since Trump won the election. I think two things are really important to consider. One thing is Trump isn't even in office yet.
Yes.
So obviously there's been a lot of kind of not black swan events, but some very sketchy shit that's been going on since the kind of election started. I mean, there was 2 assassination attempts on Trump. Just a few weeks ago, there was all the ambulances pulling up to Mar-a-Lago. People thought something had happened to Trump. His plane ran out of gas miraculously, and they had to do an emergency landing, a couple months ago. So I think that people have seen how U.S. politics has gone over the past couple years. In the 2020 election, there was a lot of doubt against the U.S. government. So I do think personally that there's still some hesitancy in a lot of the big institutional money that's investing in crypto, wondering if there's going to be some kind of black swan event before Trump actually gets inaugurated and takes office in early January. So Trump isn't even officially in office yet. He's not even on the sticks yet, truly. So we've already seen these kind of moves just based off of him winning the election. What do you guys think is going to happen whenever the conviction levels double or triple from here? And he's finally in office, situated. People know it's for sure thing. There's no black swan events. There's no fugazi shit happening. He's in there. So that's one thing that's important to remember. He's not even in office yet. He's going into office right when ETH season historically starts. So I think it's going to be a perfect storm come 2025. The other thing I think that's really important to mention, I don't think we talked about it last week, is since the pro-Trump or pro-crypto Trump administration won the election, these exchanges, now that the regulations are going to start coming down, they're not going to worry about getting sued. They're not going to worry about having charges pressed against them, whatever. These exchanges have started to list, they just have been over the past few weeks, starting to list a lot more coins around that $500 million market cap range.
Yep.
So when you guys see Landwolf pull a 2x in the matter of 3 days, and now it's up over 200 million, Andy's pumping up. It's 320. It was just at 350 million yesterday. These coins are starting to flirt with that number that these exchanges, these tier 1 exchanges, have been listing coins at. So I don't think you guys, for Andy and Landwolf especially, I don't think you guys should be worried too much about trying to time the perfect entry right now. I think you guys should just be realizing there's a very high probability, especially with the community that's backing them. And like they have professional teams working behind the scenes on Landwolf and Andy specifically. We know who's on the sticks.
Yes, that's important.
These coins have very, very good dev teams that are behind them. They're pushing to get every exchange listing that they can. And yeah, I mean, I think the big thing with those two is just getting in before those tier 1 exchange listings inevitably come here in the next month or two.
Correct. Yeah, you want to front run those. If you're buying assets before they're getting listed on tier 1 exchanges, you're going to do very, 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 very well this cycle. We gave you Turbo before it got listed on Coinbase. We gave you Pepe before it got listed on Coinbase and Robinhood and Binance. Turbo's listed on pretty much most major exchanges as well, except not Robinhood. And so guess what? We're also giving you Brett. Let me tell you something. I can almost guarantee you that Brett's going to get listed on tier 1 exchanges. That's a third coin that we gave you before it got tier 1 exchange listings. Guess what? Andy, 320, like Logan just said. You're telling me Andy, above a $1 billion market cap, can't get listed on any major exchange, let alone 500 mil? Coinbase just listed Moodang, a fucking baby hippo, at 500 mil market cap. You're telling me they're not hungry to list something like Andy, the beta to Pepe, which is doing the most daily volume of meme coins on all the major exchanges. You're telling me they were not going to want to list Andy, Wolf, right? Of course they're going to want to. So we're giving you, I mean, you have to understand how profound that is, giving you multiple assets before they get listed on major exchanges when they become available to the masses. That's game changer. If you're buying shit that early, that's game changer, right? Because they're going to do well once they get on the exchanges, because the exchanges benefit from them doing well. So they're not going to let the price go to zero. But you get it before it gets on the exchange listing. Pepe gets listed on an exchange, it goes up 70% that same day. Almost 2x's in one day.
That was from like 5 billion.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So you're telling me these things aren't going to get listed and fucking run? Of course they are. Of course they are. You just got to have the balls to pull trigger and fucking buy it. So
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you brought up Brett too, because that's something I wanted to mention real quick. Is I think that, in my opinion, I think that market makers strategically use listings to tier one exchanges to their benefit whenever the chart needs it, and they time it perfectly. So, if these exchanges, like for instance Coinbase, who obviously has every reason in the world to list Brett because I mean they're literally using it as the mascot of their own chain that they've been pouring millions and millions of dollars into developing. So Coinbase has every reason in the world to want to list Brett as soon as possible, because they're going to make tons of money from all those swaps and all those exchanges and everything else. So they've already listed coins on the base network. Like they listed Degen on Coinbase, which is on the base network, at like $150 million market cap or $200 million market cap. And it went ballistic. It fucking flew to the moon. So whenever they see that Brett has more holders than pretty much any of the boys club members, it's at like 800,000 holders. It's been performing extremely well. It's been very stable. It's been moving kind of like a stable coin relative to the other boys club members. Like whenever they're pulling back aggressively, Brett tends to hold its value very well. So whenever they can continue to see great results out of Brett and the chart is supporting itself without any tier one exchanges, why would they not continue to just accumulate and accumulate and accumulate as much as they can while the chart's still supporting itself before having to utilize that tool of the tier one exchanges whenever they know inevitably what's going to happen to the price once they list it? Because everyone's been begging for a Coinbase listing for Brett for 8 months, 9 months since it launched pretty much. And so, yeah, I just think that's important to know that it is a strategic move and they're going to do it at the right time, not when we want it.
Right. Well, yeah, exactly. They know when to list this shit. So I'm confident in Coinbase's ability to extract as much value from that chart as possible. So you just got to front run it and buy it before it gets listed. Don't be the goofy who buys it after it gets listed. So, by the way, gentlemen, in the chat, because we got a bunch of live viewers right now, like the stream, comment on the stream, show some support to the stream, because we're not going to continue to grow this organization and network without the like button. Of course, that's just the way that the algorithm works, right? If you hit the like button, we get pushed out to the other audiences. And of course, the larger that we grow our network, the more competitive we're going to be, because we're going to have more eyes in the market, more people that we can trade information with, more people that we can invest with. The more of us that we have on the same team, the more competitive we're going to be. So for your own bags, for your own money, for your own success, you should want to push out this content and help grow the organization, which I know a lot of you guys do. We got some loyal dogs working with us, and this is why we're growing. So like the stream, comment on the stream real quick. Make sure you absolutely please like it every single week. We got to get this content out to everybody. We have momentum right now. We're actually getting caught into the algorithm right now because people are seeing value. People are actually watching the videos that we're putting out, the length of them, the whole videos. The live streams are here for the whole live streams. It's because there's value. We're showing people how to make money. If you show people how to make money, they're going to show up. So hit the like button. And then the one last thing I was going to say yeah, go ahead.
Are we live on X too?
Yeah, we're live on X. Oh yeah, retweet. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, retweet the stream. Yeah, I mean, there's no downside to the community growing. It's like we're gonna be getting plays from more people. We're gonna be able to share things from, like Priamo said, having more eyes on the market. And yeah, I mean, you guys are gonna be knowing when to buy, knowing when to sell, take some of the pressure off yourself, not trying to do it all on your own. It's great to get an update from us every single day or every single week. On Mondays we give an update, but speaking of which, I think there's going to be an update to the schedule. If you want to go
Yeah,
over that.
I know you guys have been dying. You've been in the comments. You've been in my DMs harassing me. We need more streams. We need. They need more content. So we said, all right, all right, all right. We're gonna fit it into our busy schedules to go ahead and start doing a Friday stream for you guys, so we can give you an update before the weekend. Because we know you degenerates need to know what's going on before the weekend, right? Because you want to put in your longs, 50x leverage. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that. But we're going to give you another update on Friday, so that we have the Monday check-in, market open, because typically you're going to have a lot of reaction on Monday open, because that's whenever TradFi is going to come in and do their manipulation like they saw this morning. They cheated the market. And then Fridays going into the weekend, so you have an idea of what to expect over the weekend, how to position yourself if you need to do so before we meet with you again on Monday. Okay, so we're going to start ripping it on Fridays. We'll give it a live stream to the crew. So the last point I was going to make on Brett was going to be profound, but then we told you to like and retweet the stream. Brett, what was I going to say about Brett? Can't remember. Anyways, point is, buy it. What was I going to say about Brett? Oh, so I was talking to somebody this morning who messaged me on Snapchat, an old friend of mine, who's asking me about the community. He was thinking about joining, and he was trying to buy Brett, Andy, and Wolf. He was buying Pepe off the exchange, but he couldn't figure out how to get the other boys' clubs, which is why it's so important to have tier 1 exchange listings, because people don't know how to get on chain. He said he bought Brett on the Coinbase wallet. Said there was no fees. He went to buy Andy. He bought Andy, and after he bought it, he had about $7, $8 of Andy that actually showed up into his wallet. He said, what the fuck just happened? He tried to buy $50 worth. The gas fees on Ethereum ate up $40. And then the Coinbase fee was about $15. So he bought a little bit more than $50 worth. So he was left with $7 left of Andy on a probably $60, $70, $75 purchase. Okay. This is why base chain is so bullish, and why I believe Brett towards the end of the cycle is going to get such a huge pump, because everybody's going to be getting smoked on ETH gas fees, which are going to be a couple of $100, close to $1,000 by the end of the cycle. I'm being serious. Close to $1,000 per swap. People are going to be swapping over to base chain, taking profits, rotating into Brett. So whenever they need to make transactions, that base chain fee is $0. It's almost minimal. It's zero. So that's where people are going to take profits into, and people are going to rotate into Brett. I'm telling you, end of the cycle, Brett's going to fucking rip face. Anyways, but yeah, we got to get out of here. Anything else, Bees?
No, that's it. Don't buy Haktua.
That was a point I wanted to make. Is if you got scammed on Haktua, you deserve that. You're a fucking moron if you bought that shit. I don't think she should go to jail. If you bought that, not understanding it was a scam, you deserve to lose money. I don't know why people are getting all pissed off about it. It's like, you're a fucking idiot.
They ended up on the shit end of the stick, so now they're upset.
Yeah, they were cool with if they made money, then it's not a scam. But because they lost money, it's a scam. It's a Haktua coin, bro.